All right, so Mrs. Howell made some bread. Well, she's making some bread, and she put, for the initial 3 cups of flour, she put 1.5 cups of the dock flour and 1.5 cups of the all-purpose flour. Made the initial mix, let that rise, and then did her kneading and everything using only all-purpose flour, because she said the consistency was running, it was more liquidy, and it wasn't getting the same consistency because of the dock flour. So this has risen its second go round, and normally with just the regular all-purpose flour it would be to the top of this bowl, but it's only risen to that. And you can tell, you can feel it's much more dense than usual. So Mrs. Howell is going to finish making this batch. It'll make 2 loaves of bread, hopefully 2 loaves that'll be yummy and delicious, but it already seems like it's going to be a lot more dense than the normal bread that's just, yeah, it won't rise. It's probably not going to rise nearly as much even during the final baking process, but that's what she's going to do now, and then we'll take a look and see how it comes out after it's done. And there we have it. 2 loaves of dock flour bread. Compliments of Mrs. Howell. We were worried that they wouldn't rise because the consistency was more dense, or seemed to be more dense with the dough, but it looks like they rose pretty well. There's a little bit of butter on top. It's got that nice little shine to it. And we're letting them cool, and then we will slice and see what the consistency looks like on the inside. All right, let's see how this looks on the inside. Ooh.
It's a nice texture.
Yeah, the texture looks good. Ooh, it's still steaming a little bit there. Let's get a little butter on that and give it a taste test.
Okay, there you go.
That's good. And there's no real difference in the flavor. I've already eaten half of that slice because it's really good. So here is what Mrs. Howell did. Her recipe starts off with 3 cups of flour, and you put the water and mix that to make your first like dough ball, and then you let that rise as one whole thing. Then you pull it out, and she would roll it out, knead it, add more flour, and eventually it would usually come up to use a total of about 7 cups of flour, and it ends up making 2 loaves of bread. So what she did on this one, everything she did was the same, but for the initial 3 cups of flour, she did 1.5 cups of the dock flour and 1.5 cups of her normal all-purpose flour that she uses for the bread. Then after that first initial ball is done with its rise, then she just used all-purpose flour for the rest of it. So basically, it's not actually a 50-50 split. It ended up being like a cup and a half out of 7 cups. So it's like a little more than 1/7 of the amount. I've seen some of the recipes that say that they use 10% dock flour with their normal flour. In this case, we did more than that. And it came out good. The consistency is good, the flavor is good. It's not heavy, it's a little bit more dense than usual with just all-purpose flour, but it's not real dense, and it's not anything noticeably different on the flavor or the texture, really. You do have a little bit of a every once in a while, a little bit of a crunch in there if you get one of the seeds or something that didn't get ground up, maybe. I'm not noticing, they say that it has like a nutty, toasty flavor. I don't think I toasted it enough. I toasted it at 150 for 20 minutes, and I should have toasted it probably up at like 250 for like 20 or 30 minutes. And I think that would have added more of that toasty flavor. So the next round I do, I'm gonna probably toast it. Yeah. But we'll definitely do it again because this is good. I got no complaints. We'll use all that dock flour until it's gone. And if I get my hands on some more, I'll make some more. But if you guys are gonna make some, let me know how it goes for you. And if I can find the recipe, the recipe that Mrs. Howell uses, we'll put that in the description. We'll put a link to that. And then, like I said, all you do is just change out the first step of 3 cups of flour, all-purpose, and just cut half and half, with dock flour being 1.5 cups, all-purpose flour being 1.5 cups. So, there you go. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you make some, how it comes out, or if you have a way that you use it. Share the recipe with me, add it in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the next video. See ya!